Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about If I Had Legs. And this movie came out in 2025, and it's nominated for Best Actress in a Leading Role, that being for Rose Byrne. I don't know how to pronounce that. And I'll say this much, just to get this out of the way. I thought she did a great job, and I would not be upset if she won. And this movie I thought was decent. I felt as though it had a lot of great ideas, and it's an A24 film, and I was like, okay, I'm in for something unique, and that's what I got from this movie. But unfortunately, it's one of those movies where I appreciate what it was going for, and I can clearly see what it's trying to do. However, I do like it more on paper than I do in execution, because I do feel as though there are certain things that I would have preferred it to do, or just to give me more of something. Like, there are definitely ideas that I like, which I'm not going to get into it too much because I don't want to spoil anything. But I felt as though the performances were great, and I did enjoy how this movie was shot. Lots of close ups to give you a feeling of claustrophobia, and that adds to the film, I feel. I enjoyed the tone of the film. It's kind of like a dark comedy almost, where you have a bunch of characters that are like kind of very much exaggerated versions of these types of characters that you would see in any other movie. And I do feel as though it's supposed to be played for comedy. However, I will say that in terms of its approach to these things, I would say that it wasn't as effective for me, and I would have preferred it to be in something that was a bit more campy, like a Sam Raimi thing. Like, if it was in a Sam Raimi movie, I think I would have enjoyed it more. Just because I'm thinking of, like, The Evil Dead, Spider Man, or even Drag Me to Hell. Like, those movies have some campiness, but they don't take away from the overall seriousness of the film, or at least when they try to be serious. And I definitely enjoyed the scenes with the cashier. She was one of my favorite characters. She's not in the movie a lot, but she's definitely funny, in my opinion. And this movie does try to be a little artistic in the sense that, like, it's trying to use the language of cinema to, like, explore ideas and, like, give you things that are, like, up to interpretation. And I do like that about the movie. It's definitely trying to do something and give you something unique. And while I did like this movie overall, I will say that it was kind of slow for my liking. Even if it's not super long, it's just under 2 hours. I just don't feel as though this movie's 2 hour runtime was justified. If it was an hour and a half, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more, because I just wasn't in love with every scene that we got. Mostly because I just wasn't in love with everything it was doing, and it did get fairly repetitive after a certain point. And although I did say that this movie is trying to be kind of funny and to, like, poke fun at certain things, unfortunately, it's one thing to poke fun at certain things. It's another thing to just repeat the same thing over and over again. And I do feel as though this movie kind of stretched that a little too far. The scene with the hamster I felt was unnecessary, and honestly, that was pretty comical to me. And what I mean by that is it was unintentionally funny in a movie that's kind of trying to be funny, which is kind of weird. That's not something that happens too often, but it happened in this movie, and it didn't feel as though the movie was aware of how bad it was. And my biggest issue with this movie is, honestly, I didn't care about the main character. I find all the interesting characters to be the side characters, and while I do understand what the main character is going through, I just don't really care about her. She's not really all that interesting to me outside of what's just happening on the surface. And I can make interpretations as to what this movie was trying to go for, and that does enhance the experience overall, and that's probably why I like this movie, is because of what it's trying to do. But unfortunately, as a whole, it just doesn't fully come together for me. I liked enough about it to where I can say, yes, I would recommend this. It is unique and doing something different. Conan O'Brien is in it, and he doesn't really have much to do, and I just felt as though I was kind of missing a lot from this movie because I just wasn't connecting with much in this film. I liked some of the imagery. I liked what it was going for, but that's pretty much all I can really respect it for. So check this movie out if you're curious to just checking out every movie that has a Oscar nomination, and it's currently on HBO Max. So if If you need to watch it, there's a way to do so. And with all that being said, I'm going to give If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You a 6 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Shelby Oaks. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.